from P&L from trading accounts. So this is always the first entry in the P&L account. Then we'll move to the other entries one by one. From the trial balance, we'll be picking up the entries. So returns repairs 1675. Since nothing is specified as to whether these are factory repairs or they are some office repairs, we assume that simple repairs will be coming in the P&L account. Suppose that we come to the adjustment on bad debts. So to bad debts, we write in the inner column the amount of 2310 and we move to the adjustment on bad debts. In the adjustment, it is given that you need to write off further bad debts 400 and create a provision of 5% on the doubtful debts. So for that, I'll show the working in the working notes here, and then we'll also put the same value in the balance sheet on the debtor side. Now in the working notes, we see that the debtors given to us are 30,000. If there are further bad debts, then they are deducted first from the debtors and then you calculate the provision. So 29,600 is the net amount of debtors right now. Provision will be 5% of this value. So how much will the amount come to?
Ma'am, 1480.
1480. So net debtors will be 29,600 minus this amount of 1480, which is the new provision or provision on provision for bad and doubtful debts. So your balance sheet value now will be 28120. This value will come in balance sheet, and from this working we pick up values for the P&L account also. So two bad debts plus further bad debts 400 plus provision 1480. So the final value of bad debts in the P&L account to be debited will be 4190. Just check are all the calculations correct. Okay, so this is how you solve the adjustment on the bad debts. If there's any question in this, you can ask, else we'll proceed further. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next, we move to the entry on discount. Discount, one entry is on the debit and one amount is on the credit. So one will be the discount which has been allowed by the firm and one will be the discount that has been received by the firm. You allow discount to your customers and you receive discount from your creditors. So to discount allowed. The amount, debit amount is discount allowed, discount which the firm, which the business has given to the customers, and by discount received 530. Okay, moving ahead. Now, next entry capital will come in the balance sheet. Interest on loan. Now, interest on loan is treated as an implicit adjustment. इम्प्लिसिट का मतलब होता है कि आपको एक्सप्लिसिटली अलग से एडजस्टमेंट में इंटरेस्ट ऑन लोन नहीं दिया हुआ, पर आपको क्या मेक श्योर करना होता है that the complete amount of interest due on the loan has been paid or not. If there is some outstanding amount, for that we need to make the adjustment. If you have a look here very carefully, loan at the rate 12% per annum is given to you, and the amount of this loan is 20,000. Now I need to check how much was the interest due on the loan. So if I show the working here, just for convenience sake, this is again your working notes. तो लोन पर जो अमाउंट ड्यू थी इंटरेस्ट की, दैट वाज 2400. यस, 12% of 20,000, and the interest amount that has been paid is only rupees 600. So outstanding amount of interest relevant to the current year is 1800. So this is an implicit adjustment which is not given to you separately, but you need to pay attention to this piece of information in the question also. So now how will I make this entry in the P&L account? I will write to interest on loan, and my amount will be, just give me a sec. There's some problem with the stylus. To interest on loan 600 plus outstanding amount of 1800. So I am debiting the complete amount of interest 2400 here, because this is relevant to the current year, and this is how it should appear in the P&L account. Okay. After this, the next entry is of salaries. Salaries also has an adjustment which is given. Salaries unpaid 800. So you have salaries outstanding. So all these adjustments have dual effect. To salaries, the amount is 800 plus outstanding 800. So the total amount is 1600. What I'll do is जितनी भी adjustments अभी तक हमने करी हैं, उनका मैं आपको बैलेंस शीट इफेक्ट भी दिखा देती हूँ साथ में, so that when we are preparing the balance sheet, you should know how which entry has been made. So balance sheet,
Ma'am, but total salaries were 8,000, not 800.
8000 था, ठीक है बेटा,
Yes.
तो फिर 8800 हो गई ना. I'll just correct. So I'm just for the time being putting these adjustments in the balance sheet. जो remaining values हैं वो हम put कर देंगे फिर उसके बाद. So debtors we have calculated. I am putting here debtors as 28120. You can show the working of the debtors in the balance sheet, or you can show it separately as working notes also. Apart from that, you have a look, loan पे जो interest outstanding है, that is a liability for the business. So to on the liability side, interest outstanding on loan 1800, and this adjustment जो salaries outstanding है वो भी हमारी liability side पे आएगी rupees 800. So this is the dual effect of the adjustments which we have covered till now. Let's move back to the question. After that, you are given postage and telegram. Again, indirect expense. I write down here to postage and the amount. Okay, this amount is 800. After that, octroi has been covered. Insurance. For insurance, you are given that the unexpired insurance for the year is 300. Now, this means that this amount of insurance has been prepaid. This will continue, the benefit of this insurance premium will continue in the next year also. So, this is again an adjustment, prepaid amount. So, I write to insurance 1000 minus prepaid 300. So 700 is the amount of insurance. Also, this prepaid insurance will appear as an asset in the balance sheet because this will be giving the benefit in the next year, next financial year. So I write down prepaid insurance 300 on the asset side of the balance sheet. Post that, charity again is a type of expense for the business. So to charity, and the amount will be 2000. How much is the amount? 125. 125. Yes. There is a question, Siddhant.
Ma'am, the year is ending on 31st December 2010.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, but you have written 31st.
Okay. In the balance sheet, I'll correct that. I'll
Okay.
just correct it. Okay, thank you. Okay, after that, post charity, you have rent. For rent also, you are given that rent has been paid up to 31st March 2011. So this is again an adjustment because your year is ending on 31st December 2010. Okay, and I am making the working notes here. In the working notes, your rent is prepaid for 3 months because it has been paid up to 31st March 2011. The amount of the rent paid is 2000, which means 3 months का rent आपको इसमें से calculate करना पड़ेगा. So 2000 into 3 by 12, 500 I amount. 500 is the amount of prepaid rent. Again, this will be deducted from the amount, respective amount in the P&L account, and this is an asset for the business, so it will come in the balance sheet on the asset side. So here I write down prepaid rent 500. Also, for the time being, I am just erasing this adjustment from here. We need to continue with the P&L account here. So I'm writing to rent on the debit side minus prepaid. 1700 should be debited to the current year's profit. Okay, after this rent is done. Now machinery. मशीनरी में हमने कल जो एडजस्टमेंट करी थी उस हिसाब से आपको बैलेंस शीट में मशीनरी दी हुई थी of how much amount?
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम।
Yeah.
मैम प्रीपेड रेंट 500 आया था आई थिंक।
अच्छा मैंने 300 माइनस करा है, ठीक है।
यस
हाँ
मैम।
हाँ बेटा वो गलत। ओके थैंक
मैम
यू।
मैम एक चीज और पूछनी थी।
हाँ जी पूछो।
मैम जो प्रीपेड रेंट है मैम वो लास्ट ईयर भी तो हमने इस ईयर के लिए पे करा होगा।
ला अब वो आपको दिया नहीं हुआ ना क्वेश्चन में, सो यू कांट से दैट विद श्योरिटी that something has been prepaid in the last year relevant to this year. So
ओके
that's
मैम।
not true. So we can't take it as such. If a statement would have been given that this is the norm which is followed every year, okay, that rent is being
ओके मैम।
paid from 1st April to 31st March, something like this, then we could have assumed that thing, but explicitly nahi diya hua, so we can't take it there.
ओके मैम।
Okay. Okay,
थैंक
for
यू मैम।
the okay, beta. For the machinery thing, I believe 16,000 machinery was there with us for the entire year, and 6,000 machinery, the new machine was with the firm for 6 months. Okay, so we now see how much amount of depreciation needs to be charged on the machine. 16,000 full year and 4,000 plus 2,000, 6,000 की machine आपके पास half year के लिए थी. The depreciation is at the rate 10% per annum. So which means 1,600 plus 300. The total amount of depreciation on the machine should be 1,900. So in the P&L account, to depreciation 1,900. In the balance sheet, machinery 16,000 plus new machine 6,000, so 22,000, and minus depreciation 1,900. So you get the amount of 20100. That will be the amount of machinery appearing in the balance sheet. Okay, so I think more or less we have covered all the entries from the trial balance. What I'll do is I'll put in the remaining entries in the balance sheet, and by that time please calculate what is the net profit or net loss coming to. You have all the values with you.
नेट प्रॉफिट में 9540 आ रहा है।
9540.
यस मैम।
Okay, what about others? Others also check, please. Are you getting the same value? And then what is the total of both the sides? सनत एक बार टोटल भी बताना.
32430।
32430.
यस मैम।
32,000
यस मैम।
Yes, ma'am.
total. Total both sides का इतना ही आ रहा है.
यस मैम 31,900 प्रॉफिट था और 530 डिस्काउंट
अच्छा
था तो
ठीक है ठीक है.
क्रेडिट का।
ओके बेटा. ओके थैंक यू. Okay, so please all of you check you are getting this value as net profit. Net profit will be added to the capital. Capital given is 37,500. $47040 will be the amount of capital. Let's put the remaining entries. cash in hand 500, bank balance is 9500. You will also put the closing stock in the balance sheet. The amount is 40925. So just check if there's anything else left, and please tally both the sides, total the liability and asset side. I hope everything has been covered here. See how much is the total coming to?
99,945.
बता 99 पे टैली हो रहा है दोनों साइड्स.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 99945. Okay, so your balance sheet is tallying at 99,945. So you have checked at your level that the solution is correct.